hi guys, it's the 20th of October 2019 and I'm going to be doing this week's weekly analysis. So we're going to start with the Aussie card. So just to point out, because I had a couple of clients asking, every week I start over from scratch. So I clear the charts, or you start new charts, and I go looking for evidence in terms of what is the market currently doing. And the reason why I do that is simple. I do that to ensure that I'm not biased from last week's decision. I don't want to be saying, all right, yes, last week I was bearish, so I should just be bearish, and then maybe there's bullish evidence. So to avoid that happening, I clear my charts, start over from scratch, and then I'm trying to find the direction for the week. What is this market going to do for this week? So starting with the Aussie card, I could still see this market is making lower highs. We are currently at an area that the market has been finding resistance at. So when I take that information to the forward chart, this is what I'm seeing here. This is this resistance area. So the market is currently pushing to that resistance area. What I want to see happening now, and I'm going to be using purple today, I either want to see this market go up to here, reject again and fall, or if it's going to break this area, I want the market to push up, come back for some support, and then continue going. Alright, so this is what can potentially happen based on where we're at. This is what I'm looking at for the Aussie card. Aussie JPY, again, I spoke about the market last week coming to this area. It did that. And now that we're at this area, I either want to see the market hold and reject, or I want to see the market close above and continue going bullish. So that is what we are going to see for the Aussie pairs. Either we are going to start doing something like this, or from here we are going to start doing something like this. Alright, either a double top or a lower high to sell, or the market is going to close above this area, and then I want to see the market come back, find some support, and then go up. Aussie Swiss franc. So the Aussie Swiss franc has been a bit messy, and because of that, I don't really want you all to trade it, so I'm not looking at any analysis on it. Aussie New Zealand dollar, on the daily, we could clearly see that this market was bullish or going up. Then we broke the uptrend line and the market started making lower highs. We made a double top here, and since then the market has been falling. I transferred that information to the forward. You could see it here, and then from here we could see this market pushing down. So if I zoom in, what I kind of want to see happening is, you could see this is a high here, this is a high here. So based on where we're at, and we're approaching an area of support here currently, for me to sell this, I want the market to close below, pull back, and then go. Or I want this market to pull back higher, hold here, and then go. Because my bias on this is going to be bearish, so I am expecting this to be making lower highs on the way down. So let's see what the market does, and if we could get a trade on this week. Aussie US dollar. Right, so we have had support here, we have major resistance, we are approaching that major resistance. Until we're at that level, I don't want to trade this, and the game plan is going to be the same as the other Aussie crosses really. We could either potentially hold here and fall, or we could close above, come back, and then continue. So that is the game plan. That is what I would be looking out for this week in terms of the Aussie US dollar. CAD Swiss franc. When I go to the daily and I zoom out, I can see somewhat of a channel. Alright, but it's not a straight channel, it's getting wider as we go, which is a good sign, which means if this market is going to stay like this, just like it waved down to here, this could potentially wave like this till it reaches that channel support. Alright, and that is from the daily. So when I take that information to the 4 hour and I'm looking for bearish moves, I can clearly see that this here was a low. We had a push. The market broke that low. It would have broken the uptrend line, and since then the market has been making lower highs. Alright, so that is a good sign. For me, I want a pullback here, maybe test this again, form a double top, and then I want to sell, and that's how I plan to get in this market. CAD Swiss franc. and I'm going to be selling down to support. Alright, so I want somewhat of a correction, and then I'll be looking to sell the market going down. CAD-JPY, I was looking at this. Now I can see that this is making higher highs based on where we're at right now, higher highs and higher lows. Based on where we're at right now, I don't like it, so I'm not putting it on the watch list for this week. Alright, because based on what we are making, we should be buying. But then at the same time, we're approaching these highs right here, so I kind of want to see what the market does. But I don't like it as compared to the other pairs, so I'm leaving it out for this week. Swiss franc JPY, similarly, same thing. I am aware that we just pushed and we took out all these highs. So if that's the case, then we should be bullish. But after a straight line move, we should start going bearish. So maybe not right now, but maybe during the week we could see some correction. And if I see that correction, then we might be interested in selling a lower high if this market starts falling. Euro Aussie. So the Euro Aussie, I'm looking at this. Daily, this is a high, lower high. This can potentially be a lower high again for the market to start falling. But I'm taking into consideration that the market, to get to this area to make this lower high, which can just be a correction, and now we could see a push again, as in push, correction, push, correction, push. The market is making higher lows. So before I start selling, because I don't want to be selling into a bullish market, I want to wait for this market to start making lower highs, right? So to do that, we just had a push down. I need this market to take out these lows here, which I've identified. So my game plan to sell would be something like this. Take out these lows, confirm the move, then give me a lower high than this high, and then that's where I want to be selling the market. So if this is the high that I'm watching here, I'm going to need the market to push, correct, and then I'll be looking to sell at the end of the correction to get in on the next push. EuroCAD, similarly, I am looking at this bearish. Now this one, I have a trade in right now, which I am down. I think I'm down about 24 pips. But let me explain to you. Lower high, lower high, lower high. I said this was the lower high area, and I started looking for a sell inside of here. When I took that information to the lower time frame, the 4 hour, the only reason why I'm still in this trade, right, is because 1, the market broke this trend line. 2, this was the most recent low that from here we pushed and made a higher high. Then we should have made a higher low and then continued to push. We did not. We broke the trend line, took out these lows, made a lower bunch of lows, and now even with this pullback that I'm down a bit, we still did not take out this current high. So that's why my stop is beyond here. If we go up, then I'll get stopped out, that's fine. But if not, and we hold here this week and we start falling, then we're going to see low, high, sorry, to low, to lower high, to lower low. And that's what I'll potentially be looking for. For this to hold, or maybe go up here, form a double top, and then fall. So for this week here, I don't want this to go up here, double top, and then fall. Or I think this is going to start making lower lows like this. And that's what we'll see. So I'm waiting to see what the market does after the move it gave us for the last week. Euro Swiss franc, let me go back to the 4 hour. All of the Euro pairs, this is what I'm seeing. Daily time frame. This was a low. We had a push, we had a correction, higher low. We had a push, and now we should have a correction. Now, because of how big these moves are, this move here, this correction could be 128 pips, right? So if I want to take advantage of that for this week, then I need to go to the 4 hour and look for entries selling. But because this market just went up, I need the market to push down or give me bearish confirmation. So taking that in mind, I have an area of support that all I need for me to sell this market is for this market to close below, retest, and then I'll be looking to sell somewhere down to this area here to take advantage of that 100 and something pip move. Right? But until we are below here, then this market is still bullish, the market is still going up. So I'm just waiting patiently for this one to set up, and then I'll know what I'm going to be doing. Euro pound, I'm not trading this one because of the pound again, where the market had this big push down because of pound strength for the last week. Alright, I need a correction, and I want the market to settle properly before I sell or buy this one, so I'm not trading this one this week. Euro JPY, same thing like the other Euro pair. Higher lows, this could potentially be the new higher low, and all I'm looking for is a sell off down to this area, but you can see we're still pushing higher. So until we settle down and start making lower highs like this, until that starts happening, I'm not going to be selling this down to here. Euro New Zealand dollar, so this one is a bit different. This one I can find some resistance, I can't find any support. Because of that, I'm leaving it alone for this week. As you can see, we do have equal resistance, but then we have support here, comes down here, finds support, it doesn't come back down to here, it starts staying right here. So because of that, I'm not looking at this one. I'm just leaving it alone, see what happens, and then probably next week we might have a trade on this one. Euro US dollar, we could clearly see that this is making lower lows and lower highs, and we sold this a couple times well and made profit on it, right? But now the market has finally broken the downtrend line and taken out this previous high, right? So now based on where we're at, all I need is a correction, right? I don't like just continuing selling this because of how exhausted it is. So I am thinking bearish for this, and I'm thinking we're going to see something like this and then continuation. So if that is the case, then I want to wait for the market to start making these lower highs, and I'll be looking to sell at these lower highs and taking profit as we go down. Pound Aussie, same thing, pushing higher. Big pound move last week. We had some pushes, then we had sideways, right? Well, week before we had the push, and then we kind of went sideways. So now what I'm expecting is this market to fall. This is what I'm talking about waiting for here. You see, we had the market bullish when we go to the 4-hour, bullish, but then the market formed a high, and we seem to be forming a lower high. So once I can get that push again, the next correction, I want to be selling, as this market is now showing me, all right, I've stopped making higher lows and highs, and I'm starting to make lower lows and lower highs to fall. So once I can get that and I get that next push, I want to be selling the next lower high, all the way back down to some support. All the pound pairs are going to be the same thing because we had a big push. So I need the market to show me that it's about to fall. And again, all I'm going to be waiting for is a correction on these pound pairs down. Same thing, pound card. I don't really need to go through each one. We just need to wait for now, because to me this is too much of a high price to buy after an exhausting push like this. So, and we had a lot of Brexit news last week. We had some news come out over the weekend. I believe it was delayed again. So you never know what could happen with the pound. So for me, I would rather wait for confirmation on this, close below some of these support, and then we'd be looking to sell down to some major support here. Pound JPY again. Pound pairs, same thing, exact same setup on all because of how we had the pushes last week. So I just need to wait for these lower highs for me to sell. Same thing. You can see some of them have started already. We could see on this here we did have 1 minute. Right, we did have a break of that trend line there. We have this being a high. Is this potentially a lower high? So we need the market to push down and confirm that, and then we'd be looking to get, probably on this one I could probably get a double top or a lower high as the market falls. New Zealand card, right? The New Zealand card, as you can see from the daily, right? I was bearish on this last week down to here, and we did take some profit on this. I believe week before I was talking about this, sorry. On this one now, I think we are bullish, but let's see what the market does, because we can't go sideways. The market was falling, and as you can see, we broke the trend line. After breaking the trend line, we came back down to form a double bottom, and we're now pushing. So this can continue to push up, but this is also resistance here that we're facing right now. So when I take that information to the 4-hour chart, this is where we're at. This is what I need to see. If this is going to hold, it's probably going to do this and fall. So again, I'm not selling the first one, I'm looking to sell the second one. That's the confirmation. Or if it's going to go up, it's probably going to do something like this, and then I'll be out. I'll be buying, right? And then out at the top here. If it breaks out of this range, that's what I'm looking to do. If we stay in the range, then I'm expecting the market to stay sideways. So let's see what happens with the New Zealand card for this week. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. Again, we have a range, and we're moving from support to resistance. With that in mind, we can see we have support here. The market pushed, came back down, found support again. So if this is where we're at and we're pushing, then I'm expecting this to go bullish. So then on this one, on the 4-hour, and again, these Swiss crosses are not that neat. They're not usually neat. It's easier to get direction from the larger time frames, but the market tends to whip a lot, as you could see on the 4-hour. Something like this is what I'll probably expect on the New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc for the week. New Zealand dollar JPY, we're right at that. We found support, we're right at resistance here now. The market is looking like it can push, but again, the candle has not closed as yet. So again, the game plan in these areas is simple. Either we're going to be selling or we're going to be buying, but we need the market to either find resistance or support, and that's where we'll be looking to buy from a previous breakout. New Zealand US dollar, bearish. We broke that trend line, came back from a double bottom, and now pushed up. We are clearly beyond this area right here. So all I need to continue buying this is a correction. What I would like to see is the market come back down, find some support, and then I'll be looking to go bullish. So give me a correction, reject here, give me some wicks here, and then I'll be looking to buy this. Stop goes beyond the U-turn. If the U-turn happens right here, give me a stop there and a target at some previous highs from the daily. So that's what I'll be looking to do on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. US dollar JPY, what I am seeing is we could clearly see resistance, 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 resistance. We are right back at resistance. So when I take that information, I'm expecting the market to fall unless we close above and then continue going. So as of now, we do seem to be holding simply because the market already started making lower highs. We have these highs here, we have a lower high here. So is it that this market is going to hold, or is it that the market is going to break above? So with that in mind, I want this market to probably do this. For me to sell, I want this market to go back up, reject here again, and that's when I'll be selling. Or I want it to start making a lower high like this, and that's when I'll be selling. Alright, that's what I'll be looking for this to do. For now, it is already making those lower highs, so I would be bearish on the US dollar JPY this week. But let's see what happens. US CAD, this was one I was looking at from last week and week before. We had the market give us the nice entry here, and we sold. If you all sold, you all made a lot of profit. That's great. And now, what is the market expected to do? After we have a push like this, I do expect a correction. Alright, so with that in mind, I'm going to be looking for areas on the 4-hour where this market can correct to. As of right now, for this to stay bearish in terms of the 4-hour, this is the high here, and then we had the push. So if this is going to form a double top and stay bearish like that, I'm expecting maybe something like this and then a continuation. Now then I'll be looking to sell this market if it does correct like that. If it goes deeper, then what I will have to do is wait for it to start making lower highs again, wait for it to wave down, and then I will continue selling it. US Swiss franc, similarly, nice little push from here. Now what? Now we should expect the market to correct, because that's what it does. Push, correct, and then push again. So either we know we're going to be trading the correction, which is the opposite direction to the trend, or we're going to wait for it to correct and then look to start building some sell positions at these high prices up here. The dollar, the US dollar, right? This is where we're at right now. And let me show you all. So the market was sideways. I showed you all that. And the market broke out of that consolidation and fell. If you all watch over here now, we do have another area here which is or has been support. So I'm expecting the market to at least fall to that area and then maybe find some support and then continue to move. So for this week here, I would probably say this is either gonna push down, find support, and then reject, or maybe even from here is gonna go back up one time, and then if the bearish strength is gonna continue, then we'd see this market start falling like this. All right, oil has been finding support, and we are now bouncing off of support here, so we could potentially go back up to these highs. So based on that, this is what I'm seeing here. We have these lows, we have these high lows, we have this high. Continue buying, this is all we need, and we can continue buying, because for now, this is too low. Right now, if this pulls back like this and finds support here, then I'll also want to buy at that point. Right, if it rejects here again and forms a double bottom, then I'll also want to buy oil, as I'm predicting this is going to continue going up based on support. And last but not least, gold. Right, gold has been making lower highs, as you could see. Let me identify them. High, lower high, lower highs. Based on that, we are pushing down now. We are having some equal support here at the bottom. So with that in mind, I am expecting this to be bearish. When I go to the 4 with that information, however, I am seeing this moving somewhat sideways. So what I'm expecting to happen this week is probably this, maybe even come back up here if it stays within this. If it happens to break out of this, then we'll be well on our way. We could just wait for a correction and then look to sell up here and let the market fall. Alright, that's my game plan. I am actually already in gold from last week. I took a trade up here, so I am profitable on it right now, but let's see what this market does as it is moving. So I am expecting this to continue falling bearish, at least to 14.8020, but let's see what the market does this week. And that's it for this week, guys. Have a successful trading week. I wish you all the best. Be cautious with your entries on the pound because of all the news with Brexit and all of that. Other than that, your stop is what you use to protect you guys. So that's what you are going to use. Your stop is what will protect you, because that when you enter the trade, you should already know with that trade I'm only willing to risk 10 pips. So if you lose that 10 pips, it shouldn't be a problem, or it shouldn't be an issue. Alright, so use your stops to protect you. I'll see you all guys next week. Have a great trading week.